Try that once again. 1 2 1 2 1 2. To brighten other people's world with a smile, all of a sudden the world brightens up around you. It's like reciprocal. It's so interesting, and it's something in psychology that I don't want to talk about more because I don't have the studies in front of me, but it's something about us having a good attitude and keeping a good attitude around the people that we are having or around with that makes us so much better at whatever we want to do. Let's stop fighting beliefs. Stop fighting beliefs and let's try to find common ground. We're all on this planet together. According to statistics, it's the person who's mediocre that actually advances further. I'm more interested in the top 10 richest men in the world, you know, and Bezos, who I can't get over this joke. I've been saying this joke, and if somebody says it on the Oscars, you know what I'm saying? The man can get divorced and is still the richest man in the she took half and he's still richest man. Come on, Bezos, you got this. Look at us up on Doc Rio TV. Hey, you know what time it is, folks. That's right, it's time for more In the Hot Box with Doc Rio. I hope y'all hearing me. Let me double check a couple of things one more time. So, chat, so TV, because it's not hearing me on the overlay, and I just want to make sure something happened. Something view the live dashboard one more time. Let's reboot it, see what happens, see if it connects. See if it connects with me. Yes, that seems to be connected, but am I connected with you in the actual chat? No, it did not connect to my microphone. See, that's the weirdest part about this right now, but at least y'all can hear me, and that's a good thing. You know what time it is, folks. That's right, it's time for more In the Hot Box with Doc Rio. And no, I wasn't meaning that I wasn't going to come on and rant this weekend. Yes, I am coming on, and I'm actually probably coming on for a lot longer after I finish the rest of the homework. I got about 20 more questions left, and 2 of those are actually not questions. 20 more assignments left, and 2 of those assignments are actually considered tests. So one's probably going to take about an hour and a half, and the other one's probably going to take about a half hour, assuming that they compare to the last 2 tests that I just took yesterday for the other 2 set of assignments that I didn't see that they were this. I missed a test. Series for a chapter or whatever. But anyway, I had a whole bunch of them, and right now I'm still at 94%. I think, I don't want to pop it up right now, but I think I'm at 94%. That's good. But I feel like I'm missing something, that I should have done something else, or that there was something else I was supposed to be doing, and I didn't do it. I don't know. I hope I did not miss it, but, you know, that's how things go. But you know what time it is, folks. That's right. It's time for more In the Hot Box with Doc Rio, and today we're talking about climbing up. Not just climbing up, but when you're climbing up, you got to accept to advance, but accept to advance, then take action. And as you take action, you have to assess progress. That's right. The next lesson is assess progress. Yes, I just did all that from the top of my head, for real. So, you know, and it's interesting that I can do that from the top of my head, because if I had to read it, I probably would mess it up and stutter it because I'm dyslexic. So I tend to do that, as some of you who have seen me live on the radio doing the live radio show have seen me do. I tend to stutter when I'm trying to read words and read fast, so I tend to space words out and stuff, and I didn't do that with this lesson. I kind of just wrote right off the top of my head, and that's what Saturday's all about. It's me writing off the top of my head, and then Monday's now me going back and shaping it to a better lesson that I can use for YouTube. I mean, yeah, I'm streaming this live everywhere, and so you're seeing my progression in both of it. If you're watching this on Sunday and you turn around and watch this on Monday, you'll see this a little bit different. You'll see it more refined on Monday, and you'll see it get to the points and still deliver the same content that I'm attempting to deliver today, except I might do a little rant and stuff about some things I don't feel are right going on in this country. No, I'm just joking. I'm probably not going to do that at all today, because I think it's more important that we assess our progress and not worry about what's going on outside right now. I think right now we got a lot of stuff going on inside. I'm gonna be honest. A lot of us are feeling a little, probably anxious, probably trapped in, probably probably too close to individuals we don't want to be this close to at this moment in time. We love them, but we may not want to be, or we may not love them and we may not want to be. You know what I mean? We're probably in a situation that we're not comfortable with right now. We're way out of our comfort zone. You know what I mean? And so right now is our time to assess our progress and not look at what other people are doing out there. Yes, we're angry at what other people are doing out there. Don't get me wrong. Some of us are angry. Some of us aren't. Some of us are complacent. Some of us are, hey, we're cheering those people on. I don't know. You know what I mean? But at the same time, we have to worry about what's going on with us right now. Mental health is definitely a big issue in this time, in this frame. And now is the time when we start to go out and we start to blame more and we start to do things that may put ourselves in more danger. And so I before we come back and we jump into In the Hot Box, I just want to remind people to please, I urge you to wear face masks out there. I see a lot of people out there not wearing face masks. That's the first thing right there. That's our face coverings. It doesn't have to be a face mask, just cover your face. I had a lady in the store. I'm standing in the store, and she's right behind me. She's not even looking at the lines on the 6 feet behind me. She's got a walker, so there is a little bit of space, but the lines aren't even 6 feet apart. I'm just be honest. I'm looking at them. They're like 3 feet apart. They're the size of an M16. So 3 feet is 1 meter. I know what the size of an M16 looks like. I'm military. So, you know what I mean? M16 A1 or A2. So what I mean? So, now, and if you look at that she's already in that box, she's already crossed over the line, and she's right behind me in the box with her walker. Her walker is only what? A meter, maybe? Yeah, excuse me, not a meter. A quarter of a meter, a foot long? Maybe 15 inches long is her walker. You know what I'm saying? And so 15 inches from her walker to where she's at to me. Her face over her walker, so about maybe 12 to 15 inches, right? And she's talking. And she's talking loud, and I see boo flying out of her mouth. Boo, boo. And I'm like, man, not that I'm afraid that she's going to give it to me, but I'm afraid that I'll get it and I'll give it to somebody I know or I care about. You know what I'm saying? Like I told you, I feel like I'm immune. I feel like there are a lot of things out here that I'm immune to, and there are a lot of reasons why, because of where I grew up and how I grew up and the things I've been through in the military experience. I feel like I'm immune to a lot of things. That's why I don't tend to get the flu shot. Because when I get the flu shot, for some reason, all of a sudden my immune system thinks it's got to fight something that's dead in its body, and then all of a sudden I'm trying to. I don't know if this is even true or not. I'm just saying. I feel like my immune system feels like something's wrong in my body, and it's got to fight what's wrong in my body to make me heal after that shot, and then I get sick, and it's usually the flu, and that don't make any sense, right? And I usually get bronchitis when I get the flu. I have bronchitis. So, yeah, I could be more susceptible to coronavirus than anything else. But, I'm just urging y'all to please do that. And please, I know it's been hot outside. Please, I'm a person, I love the outside. I love our LA beaches. Look, I'm an LA kid. I like to represent LA to the heart, baby. LA to the fullest, to the heart, to everything that I can't even understand to reveal. There's so much love in this city that when I was in other places, I was like, look, I got to get home to LA. I couldn't deal with being in any other place than LA. You know what I'm saying? And even when I go to San Diego, I love San Diego. I love my family down there, but LA is my home. And I love the beaches up here all the way down Orange County, all the way down to San Diego. But please, let's just be careful. If you're going to go out there, don't be going out there protesting. Don't be going out there doing that kind of stupid stuff. Go out there and just be peaceful about it and say, look, we're practicing social distancing. We ain't got to protest. We're just going to go out here and do what we need to do. Why stir up even more commotion about it? Come on. You know what I'm saying? Just go out, do what you have to do, and say, yeah, I'm protesting it by coming out, but we're keeping social distancing. We're coming out and walking. We're being active. We're doing something that's not. You know what I'm saying? We're not out here, hey, holding up signs, making more littering. You know what I'm saying? That idea to be, or protesting in cars, making more pollution. We got the cleanest air in the nation's ever seen right now because people aren't on the roads. So if you want to go out on the roads, do something positive with what you're going out on the roads. Don't do something negative. Don't go out there fighting and following all these leaders who want to pull up lawsuits, these attorneys, these ambulance chasing attorneys, I'm going to say. Yeah, I'm going to say ambulance chasing attorneys because that's what they're doing. They're chasing the fact that all these people are dying. You know, they're chasing that factor. And I told you I was going to rant about some stuff that's going on in this nation. I thought I wasn't. But I mean, let's just be safe. Let's just be positive. Let's just stay around and try to keep around each other for the best we can. And try to pray for those people who are dying or care for those people who are dying. And try to help those who are family members, our friends and our family members and all those people who we might be losing due to COVID-19. Let's pay more attention to that than to pay more attention to what we can get out of this situation. You know what I mean? Afterwards, man, okay, by all means, if you want to look at that afterwards, hey, this country is all built up on capitalism and taken from each other. I get it. But right now, let's figure out a way to keep that curve flat and get that curve down and then get past that curve and then see if we don't get another rise when flu season starts again. Let's pay attention to the medical professionals, what they're saying out there. You know what I'm saying? And let's be safe and let's stay healthy. We'll be right back, folks. We're coming back with Assess Your Progress, and that includes assess your progress right now. Have you been staying healthy? Have you been doing things to keep yourself healthy so that when you go to this next phase of what you're doing in the business, when you go to what you're going to do, and why am I not seeing chat up here? I should be seeing chat up here. When you go to the next phase of what you're going to do, then you'll be able to see what's going on in your life and see what's going on here. The chat is where it's supposed to be. You'll be able to take care of what's going on in your life, and you'll be able to continue to strive forward without having to worry about being sick, being ill, or somebody in your family that you might have to take care of at the last minute and cause you to go into financial distress. You know what I mean? People don't think about the butterfly effect. Everything you do has an effect, you know, on everybody else in the community. You know, and so you could be that one person that's like, you know, I'm not sick. I ain't had any symptoms. I haven't been tested yet, but I haven't had any symptoms. And then you go out there in the community and you spread it amongst hundreds of people on the beaches and don't know you're spreading it just because you know you're sweating and talking through. You know what I mean? You're sweating, so you're talking funny. And when you're talking and you're sweating, you lift up your mask. You lift up your mask because you're talking and you're sweating. Sweat and spit will get together. You start mixing that stuff together, and you start, who knows? You start spraying on a hard surface. That person comes by, touches a hard surface. Then they wipe their eye. They're not wearing gloves. You know what I'm saying? Because people aren't wearing gloves. People aren't wearing masks. Anyway, we'll be right back, folks. Stay tuned. Assess your progress. This is Doc Rio. There's a word from one of our sponsors real quick. Look at us, on Doc Rio TV. All right. I know we back. And usually by this point, I probably have some kind of different setup for you. I done skipped around screens enough today to mess up a whole hair full of nachos. I love nachos. Too bad I can't eat them no more. Things you miss. I love nachos. Anyway, nachos. Nacho cheese. I said a hairful. I meant a handful of nachos. Anyway, you know what time it is, folks. That's right. It's time for more In the Hot Box with Doc Rio. And today we're talking about assessing progress, or how we need to assess progress. That is the title of the lesson for today, Assess Progress. And this stems off of some ideas and some things that have been slapping myself around. I mean, my question is first to anybody, how hard are you willing to hustle? You know what I mean? There was something I wrote the other day. How hard are you willing to hustle? You know, I've had to hustle hard. How hard are you willing to hustle in life? You know, what does it take for you to get to the next level of what you want to do and do the things you need to do? It's not that easy. It's not. I think we all get a little caught up in what we feel or what we think we know we feel is something that we can do in our future, but do we really assess the situation? Now, I think this is important, right? A lot of people spend a lot of time on research. Assessing the situation has to do with more research, all right? Now, a lot of people spend a lot of time, all the time, spending time on research and not stepping outside of their box. You know what I mean? They just sit there, and they don't do anything about what they've learned, all right? I know a lot of people who go and get college degrees and don't use some of what they learn to actually take themselves to the next level. Some people do. Some people use some of what they learn, and it may not have anything to do with the subject. They may go work in a whole nother field, but they're using exactly what they learned. And why does it look like that's tilted off? It is tilted off. Sorry about that, folks. There we go. Let's refix that. Oh, don't want to see the ceiling. That's something my mom would do. She go, like that. That's when you know. That's when you know you start sounding like family. You start sounding like family. You're just like, I do a lot of what my mom used to do. And you know the commercials coming on, you're getting your mom's age, you're getting your parents' age because you're buying a house. It just got to be buying a house. We just getting our parents' age. Geico. It's a Geico commercial. I just advertised Geico. Wow. Anyway, they ain't paying me none. They owe me some money anyway. I'm always going to say they owe me money because they didn't cover me on something. Whew. But then they did at the last minute. But, you know, it's just the way they did it. Yeah. No, we ain't going to cover you. Well, it's not. Okay, we got to cover you. Okay. Yeah. There was a lot of hassle dealing with y'all on that. A lot of hassle. Never do that again. No. Anyway, I had to assess my progress in that. There's a situation right there. I had to assess my progress. I'm like, look, I've been paying this company for a while, and they're my insurance company, and then all of a sudden they're telling me they're not going to back me up. You know, why am I giving them money if they're not going to back me up? I assessed my progress, but I did it a little bit too fast. I was like, well, let me go pay another insurance company. When I did that, I ended up in another accident in the transition of that, and some other stuff happened, but that other, you know, that stuff was just a fender, you know, bumping a car. Nothing really happened, you know. I mean, nothing really, you know. Some people probably tried to sue me on that, and then that just ended up being a wash. But the other guy tried to sue me for $1 million for a real car accident. You know, that he was too busy, I think, checking out a woman's booty while he was driving through an intersection and swaying to the right like he was making a right turn. You know what I'm saying? When you look at when you're driving, I pay attention to the driver and the car. So I'm looking at the driver in the car, and the driver's looking right really hard, and he's not even paying attention all the way to the intersection. All the way, and I'm like, okay, man, I can make this turn because we're in a three-lane turn, and he's got to slow down. He's got to slow down. He accelerates while he's not looking. All right? I got it on camera. I got it on film. But because I'm making the left turn, it's my fault. So I get that. So I had to assess where I was going and what I was going through, and I had to figure out how to reestablish myself after that incident, right? I had to figure out everything that was going on, get another car, do the process, and keep moving. You know what I mean? Assess my progress and see if what I'm doing in business is worth it. And during that time, it really wasn't worth it. It really wasn't. You know, not too long after that accident, I ended up cutting my leg open and realizing I needed to sit down and do a home-based business. You see, that whole wake up, that whole progression led to where I'm at now. To show me that, hey, you know, I may have seen some bad times, but those bad times led me to seeing a better focus in what I should be doing, a better thought process in how I should be. And if I'm assessing my progress along the way, then I can see the benefits of it, and I can see how I go through the future. Like, you know, let me give you another example. All right. You ever wonder why you get some technology from a company, right? And you go to you get some technology, and as soon as you get it, you take it home. You just bought it brand new. It just came from the company. Matter of fact, you pre-ordered it before it came out from the company, and once it was in production, it was shipped from the company to you by your hands. You got one of the pre-production numbered models. The first thing you got to do is update it. The first thing you got to do is update it. Why do you have the first thing you got to do is update it? Why? Because nothing we ever put out is ready. Nothing they ever put out in technology is ready to be put out. They don't waste time researching over it and over again. They've got to get it out there. They've got to put it out there. Have you ever wondered why that? Okay. As I've been saying before, part of climbing up is not wanting to take action. A lot of people don't want to take the action. We must take action even if we don't have all our chips in order. I said tips in order when I wrote there. Our chips in order. We must take action even when we don't have all our chips in order. You see what I'm saying? It's hard. It's not easy to do that. And I say this for two reasons. One, all right, here's the reasons I wrote down. Some people get caught up in researching information for too long, and they just don't do anything about it. They just research, and they get stuck in research. We can get stuck in research. I've been stuck in research. I've been way stuck in research. Research to get you stuck up, caught slipping. And if you're caught slipping in research, then, you're not really moving forward at all. If you're caught slipping in research, then you're not really looking for something you're just crawling. And maybe I did look for a word to rhyme because you're doing nothing but crawling, because you're not doing nothing at all. But at the same time, your goal is to walk, then run, right? And so if you're going to run, you've got to exercise those legs in the walking form. And walking, sometimes you fall. You know what I'm saying? Look at it. Look at the whole idea. If a baby's too scared to get up off the floor and stand on their legs because they fell and bumped their head a couple of times walking, they're going to take longer and crawl and walking and learning how to walk. They're going to need some coaching in order to learn how to walk. If that's you, if you're too scared to actually invest in yourself, if you're too scared to take those steps, call me. I'll tell you some things that you need. Call me, 310-844-9285, 310-844-9285. Leave me a message, drop me a text message, all right? And I'll tell you some things to motivate you. You know what I'm saying? I'll give you a free motivational consultation. You know what I'm saying? I can tell you some things that happen bad in a lot of people's lives that they've had to climb up out of a mountaintop to get to that point. And to see that what you're going through is not all that bad. What we're going through is not all that bad. We just have to be in the mindset to accept that. And it's hard to be in that mindset. Trust me. For a post-traumatic stress vet, it's hard to be in the mindset of feeling like I'm trapped in a cage. You know what I'm saying? Feeling like I need to calm my anxiety down because of what I'm doing. And when I go even to work, I feel super anxious because when I go out in the world, it feels dead out there. It feels like there's no life on the streets. It feels like everybody's hiding out at home. It feels like if I turn the corner the wrong way, the umbrella corporation's gonna set off some zombies after me. I mean, for real. To be honest, that's how it feels sometimes out on the streets of LA. I can't put it in any other description than that. But at the same sense, I know that I need to assess how I'm looking at life because that could actually happen. The coronavirus can mutate into something we don't know. They said something about psychological issues started to happen with people. You know what I mean? And that's scary. There could be some psychological, there could be some mental, they don't have any proven cases, but they're testing all kind of theories. Because what if this something that got out in the lab was something that they were trying to keep from getting out, but it got out anyway? You know? And number two, the two reasons I forgot about that. But some people get caught up in researching information, and we get a lot of information in our head, and we don't act. All right, and this is the reason why I say we must act before we have our chips in order, because if we don't act, we get caught up, we get lost. And this is good that people see us go from okay, we don't really have it all together. I mean, this is something I learned from like the big folks. They say, okay, look, you're admitting you don't really have it all together, but you're putting it out there anyway, trying to get it all out there. And you're getting it out there, and while it's out there, you're seeing how it works in the public eye, and you're seeing what it does in the public eye. You're testing, you're trying, you're changing, you're molding, you're shifting, you're assessing your situation as it goes. This is why it's not important for you to continue to research in that box. It's more important you're gonna continue researching anyway. You gotta keep assessing the situation anyway as you go. So might as well go ahead and take a foot and put it in the water. You know what I mean? Put it in the water. Okay, yeah, I felt it feels cold, and I know it's gonna be cold on my body, but if I get in there and I move around a little bit, it's gonna warm up, right? Right? It might still be cold later on, because sometimes that happens. I be getting in the pool, and after a while, I'm like, look, it's still cold. I got to get out and get the jacuzzi. But, you know what I'm saying? At least you got in the water, swam around a little bit, felt how the water was, and said, okay, all right, it might be possible. It might actually be possible, right? Think about that for a second. Now, so those two reasons are important, Remember this. And I stopped for a second because of the way I wrote it, but I stopped for a second because I really had to understand what I was trying to say here. What I was really trying to say here is that remember that there are people looking. We need to remember that there are people looking. And I know I say this often. I say this a lot of times that, okay, look, and I said this to Jordan Lane the other day, and I think she kind of looked at it weird. She like kind of didn't get what I was saying. Look, there's 7 billion people in the world. 7 billion people in the world, all right? If you haven't gotten your stuff in front of 1 billion people, then nobody has seen it. Yes, this is true. But there are people who have seen it. I mean, just to get the idea across, all right? Yes, there are people who have seen it. There are thousands of people who have probably seen her work. Thousands, because she's got a great following. She's got like 60,000 people following her. Yeah, so she's probably got thousands of people seeing her work. But at the same time, nobody has really seen it. So use it everywhere. Use it everywhere. If you just use it, okay, I'm just only gonna use this on one channel. Use it there, and then that extra content, stack on that extra content on top of that, on the same channel. Use whatever content you wanna use on one channel on all your channels. Double it over, because there's somebody who might be on that one channel who doesn't go to your other channel, so they don't see your other content, but you're making them go to the other channel. But they'll go and follow, but they're still not gonna go and watch it as much. You know what I'm saying? They'll be more active on the platform that they're on. You know what I'm saying? Get them to follow you on the other. Don't get me wrong. Get them to come over and follow you and say, look, I'm putting this one thing exclusively on there for a certain amount of time, but then a little bit of time later, come back and put it on the other platform. Nobody's gonna really know because they're not gonna see it. That's how you build your omnipresence bigger. I notice people who have the biggest omnipresence put the same thing on every single channel, even though they cannibalize it and add to it and extend it and turn it out. Because they know that if they can multiply how many people they see having it out there, then they can constantly get more sales closed. These are the people I'm talking about. They talk about sales. They talk about making the dollar. And that's what it's all about, right? Right. That's what it's all about. So, in that sense, when we look at things, when we look at the aspect of where we're going and what we're trying to do in life, even if we're just getting our art out there, we love to be paid for our art, right? I know I'd love to be paid for my art. Every time I get my art out there and somebody pays me for my art, I feel that feeling of achieving a goal, achieving a step in my forward progression to being a better me. Not some me that somebody is telling me because this is how they've formulated the business to be in their eyes, and this is the way they want the business to be. No, this is how I want it to be or see it to be because I've learned that this is how I have to have it to be for me. I've learned through assessing where I'm going, what I can do to take these steps to make this business the way I want it for me. And then at the same time I make it want it for me, I find out what the audience wants from me. See, that's part of the assessment. I got to continue to look at what the audience wants, what the audience doesn't want, what the audience hates, what the audience sees. I get thumbs up, thumbs down, dislikes, comments, whatever it may be. I have to read all that stuff. And reading all that stuff is research. Reading all that stuff is consistent research, but it's live research. It's the most important research you could ever have. The research you do when you don't take action is only 10% of the research you need to do after you've taken action. It's only 10%. It's only hypothetical because you never know what happens when you take action. People will sit back and take action and do nothing, and nothing will happen for years. And then all of a sudden, after a certain amount of time, something just smacks dead because they've been taking action for so long. They spent that time. They weren't an overnight success. They were success through practice, through assessing progress, through growth, through development, through trial and error, through seeing what the public wants and understanding that aspect of it. Yes, definitely. Now today I'm wearing a t-shirt. It talks about our 4th annual 5K. We had a 5K last year. Unfortunately, we may not have it this year. I hope we do. Sigma Tau Alpha, that's my fraternity. As you may have heard from Robert Graves, the Robert Graves interview, that's up on YouTube. I really apologize for the sound on that. I really want to do a remix on the sound on that and see if I can get out that terrible quality. But it took a lot of time just to get it to that point. I wish I would have saved it once I've developed it before I ran that filter that took out the filter. It's the filter that took out the audio. And I'll probably show that to you guys one of these days. It's the filter that, the noise reduction filter that made that digital sound. And that digital sound actually reminds me of tinnitus. And it's funny because we talk about tinnitus in that video. How tinnitus even gets you a percentage of military disability, for those who don't know that. So, for those who don't know, I want to say that props out to the DAV. The DAV always assisting and helping and supporting others of us military veterans like us who didn't know that we can receive certain benefits that we needed from not just the VHA, but also the VBA, and make sure that we achieve our goals in life and take action. That is one thing about the military. It's always about taking action, and that was one thing about the VA. It always felt like we weren't taking action, and it took organizations like the DAV to help us as vets. The VFW, organizations like that help us get to that next goal. And even those mental health organizations, if you need the mental health, please make sure you seek it. Also, if it's that beauty of us being able to grow and get to in the know. I have another sponsor I like to talk about, and I don't want to lose the page because I do have a book for you all today. But this sponsor today is a new sponsor for me. This sponsor is a food sponsor. You gotta heard me talk about them. New York Chicken and Gyro. New York Chicken and Gyro. I told you I'll bring that address back. Look, they got 3 addresses in Los Angeles, West LA, Hollywood, and Canoga Park. See that address right there? There's that telephone number. Find out there's their hours right now. And get you that plate. Get you that plate. Want to see what that looks like? Oh, look at that. Look at that. Chicken and lamb, chicken plate, falafel plate, chicken over rice. Yeah. Gyros. Hey, they know what a gyro means. They call it gyro. New York Chicken and Gyro is the name of the company. But yes, they know what a gyro is. They call it that is a gyro. But check it out. Their prices are really cheap. I would ask them to give a Doc Real discount. Just tell them I sent you either way. They may even do it anyway just because. You know what I'm saying? Just tell them that Mario sent you, the guy with the shades and the hat with the cross sabers on it, the fedora with the cross sabers on it. Everybody knows me for that, man. Just tell them. I sent you. You know what I'm saying? Even if they don't give you a discount, man, it only costs $8 for that plate. And you see me eat it. Their recipe is so good, and it's good for you. It's rice with chicken and a salad. I mean, you just can't beat it, all right? That's my presentation on that one for today. But with that all being said, let's get back to the lesson real quick. Now, even though someone is always watching, why was that so important? Why was it so important to give you that parallel between the fact that you got to remember that there are people watching, but the fact that you don't watch, you're not being watched by everyone yet. Because you want to make sure when you are delivering this message, when you want to make sure you are delivering whatever you're trying to deliver, that the people who are watching, that they're if somebody's consistently watching you and you don't know that they're watching you, they're probably watching you because they're waiting for an opportunity to benefit or support you or to work with you. You never know what that aspect may be. Sometimes people just watch you just because they like to see you and they like to see you be successful. Sometimes people watch you just because they like to be a part of that success. Have you ever seen those people who go to like these seminars? This is this one thing. People go to network marketing events, multi-level marketing events. People go to these sales events sometimes just to be a part of that energy. You never know who wants to be a part of your energy. And sometimes I've done stuff and forget it too. I forget it a lot of times. And matter of fact, I need to be on camera more. And I mean, you don't want to be swiping your nose the wrong way or it all up in your eye. Sometimes I'll be in my ears. Sometimes I'll be honest with you. There's a little quirks that I have that that make me stop and have to go wash my hands or whatever. You know what I mean? But there's little quirks I have that I don't like to have on camera at all times. I'm not saying that, all right, whatever, vaping or whatever. Yeah, it's a teen stream right now. It should be a teen stream right now. It should still be a teen stream right now. And if it's not a teen stream, I'm going to switch it back to a teen stream right now as well. But I mean, in a teen stream, you don't want to be vaping on camera. And I've done that. And I've vaped on camera. You know what I mean? Matter of fact, I think I smoked a cigarillo on camera just because I wanted to taste the tobacco for a time, just because it's been stressful during this pandemic. So I smoked a small cigar on camera, and that's wrong. You know what I mean? No black and mild on camera. You know what I mean? So, you know what I mean? I had to cancel that real quick. You know what I mean? But I had this thing about wanting to, every once in a while I want to smoke a cigar. So what? Yeah, I like it. You know what I mean? But I don't want to do that on camera. I don't think that's something that I should do in front of teens. And I think it's important that we watch what we do in front of teens. LeVar Burton, I talked about him before. LeVar Burton, you never saw him do anything crazy on camera. You never saw him, and he taught to children all the time, reading Rainbow. You never saw him do anything crazy, and if you heard anything crazy about him, it was very, very small. But LeVar Burton has always been a pillar in the community, and that's why I bring up his name. He's always tried to carry this era of respect and gratitude, you know what I mean? And gratitude for his position and his role in the community. Gratitude for what he has to do and how he has to serve our people, American people. You know, if you're wondering who I meant by our people, our American people. Because like I said, with liberty and justice for all comes this idea that we're not unified like we're supposed to be. You know what I'm saying? I think what I'm getting to is I want to say indivisible, but I didn't want to say indivisible. You know what I mean? I think we've been divided too much. I was trying to avoid saying, I was looking for another word, but I just got to say it, indivisible with liberty and justice for all. I was trying to say it without fully saying the whole statement, but I really have to. We need to be more united as a nation. We need to be more united as a people. We all live together, right? So no matter if we connect on the same nationality, the same belief and all that, some came to this country. We all believe in the idealism that this country has, an idea that we can all grow and eat together. And like I tell people a lot of times, forget that idea of growing to eat. We all eat. Yeah, I love that too. I like this better. We can survive without eating food for a few days, but we cannot survive without drinking. We must be thirsty. We must always be thirsty, like we haven't had a drink before in order to grab that next step in our lives. And I forget that sometimes too, because I be thinking about hunger. Hunger ain't nothing. We can survive without food, but we cannot survive without water. Cannot survive without water. I will always make sure I say that. And zero water is the best. Hey, 3 weeks, no problems. I might have to do a test for y'all. And if I do a test, I might become a zero water reseller. I'm gonna just be honest with you. If I really like I really like in the water. I don't know what them people said about sour. They probably put wine in their water. They probably put wine in their filter. Lint flowing through air. They probably put wine in their filter, right? And then afterwards, they started, filtering with water, and it does damage the filter. They probably did that wine test. Don't do the wine test. Don't do any other test. Just put water in and put it in the fridge. It's supposed to be just water, right? Do it what it's supposed to be used for. Don't be doing all crazy stuff and then turn around and be like, oh, yeah, after a certain amount of time. No, it tasted bad. The filter tasted bad. Man, it's a 5-stage filter. Anyway. Whew. Ranting. You never know who's going to support you, and you never know who's going to support your goals. And if we get in the practice of assessing our progress, then we start to understand, even if we don't know who's there, we start to understand that there are people there. That there are people watching us, thinking about our next steps, thinking about what we might do, and thinking about, hey, are they viable at what they're saying? Maybe what they're viable or what they're talking about or what they're trying to show or what they're trying to create is good work. And maybe I actually like it, and that's the reason why I watch it, and that's the reason why I actually follow them. And maybe there's something to this that starts to develop where we are going in our future. And so I want you to just focus in on what you see in your world and what you feel that you can actually do, and stop worrying about if it's right. This is the time not to worry about it. Right now is the time not to worry about that. Right now is the time to test and try why you got this little gap. Even for you all who know you have a job to go back to, try it now while the world and the country is going crazy, while you got a stimulus check coming in. Matter of fact, if it takes that stimulus check, if you can afford to actually take that stimulus check, which, like I said, I don't think I'm getting one, but if you can afford to actually take that stimulus check and actually invest it in yourself to make that next goal, do it. Do it. Don't hesitate. Don't fall in that spot and be ignorant, like it says in A Cure to a Lean Purse, which is in The Richest Man of Babylon. The 7th cure to the lean purse says, or one of the cures to the lean purse says, hey, if you get money, you got to think about how you invest it. You know what I'm saying? Most people sit around and they don't. They don't think about how they will invest it. They don't think about how they would save money. They think about money as something they have to work for and that they're a slave to. Stop being a slave to it. Take action. Once you take action, start assessing what you've taken in, so that research that you wanted to do in advance doesn't go to waste. It's still there. It's going to go on through the life of what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? So you must get in the practice of assessing your progress, and it's something that it can be done daily. I wouldn't suggest that. I think it's something that should be done weekly, monthly, quarterly, and annually. And like I said, some do it daily, but it's back to the basics. So monthly is acceptable if you want to just start. Assess it monthly. Go through the month and look at your stats. Look at what you're doing social media-wise. Look at what you're doing everything-wise. Start looking at your growth and your progression. If you don't see any growth, start changing something up. See if you see any growth from there. Always assessing. Yeah, it's extra work, but yes, this is work, right? This is what we call in jobs. This is what is going to be the future of some people's jobs now, where we sit around and we talk and discuss information with the people over the internet widely. Some people might be in chat, some people might be in voice, some people might be all over the place. But this is what we're going to do. And those of y'all who are in voice chat, in the future, right now I know I have it turned off, but in the future, when I do this live during Discord chat and you have questions, you can ask them in the background. I might stop and mention your question during this. You know what I'm saying? And those are a select few. Those are select few people, because I want to make sure that those people aren't chatting about something ignorant. You know what I mean? So I want to make sure those people that are in that chat are actually asking questions that are viable to not only their business, their forward advancement, their motivation, their progression in this 12-step process, but also in the progression of anybody else that they want to hand out. See what I'm saying? I mean, that is out there listening and watching, because like I said, there's always somebody watching. Even when you don't think there is, there's always somebody watching. And this goes back to what I'm saying, though. This goes back to what I've been saying all over the time. It's research. It's research. And that's why it's so important to continue this research, because it's going to continue starting. Research is something that's consistent with a life of a business, as I said before. And it's not just something you do before your action. It is something that you do after. You do before, you do during, you do after, and you do post-mortem. I guarantee there's business and companies out there right now. You see a business grow that blows up and then it fails. There's companies out there researching, why did it blow up in the first place? Why did it fail in the first place? It's constantly done. It's consistent with the idea of understanding how to grow and how to go in this economy. You know what I mean? In order to grow, you got to go through the climbing up process. And the climbing up says you must climb up to accept, and advance, and then once you accept and advance, you can take action, and once you take action, you got to assess your progress in doing so. It's what I'm saying. It's where I'm going. Lord knows where this is going to go when it gets to 12. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do it when it gets to 12, but it feels like something that's connecting, and I'm not even forcing this connection on. I did write down today. I did write down what the next lesson is. It came to me as I'm writing this down. And it's almost like the week before the lesson that the next week is coming, and the book to read is also coming. The book of action is also coming in that process. And so, like I said, I think everybody looks at this the wrong way. And this book I have to read today is very important because it really focuses in on research. It really focuses on research and success. And it's unavoidable. It's unbelievable. It's like it fell in my hands. And I've talked about this book before as well. Research is, like I said, if you don't believe that people are researching businesses that fail, you should go out there and check out some of these research markets. If you don't believe that people are researching that businesses that grow, you should go out there and really check out some of these research markets. And that goes back to what we were talking about before. Here we go again. Research. Why do tech companies release something so that they find out later that they have to update it immediately? Because as soon as they released it, they tried to test it out, said, oh, shoot, we need to update these little parts. So they put an update. Then when they got it out to people, a massive hit came up, and they said, well, we got to fix this and fix this. And they fixed that, and they updated. Research came along the path, the progress, the production of the actual device. The growth and where it's going was all about the same thing, research. And how that research actually envelops into what it needs to be and how it needs to grow. See what I'm saying? Does that make any sense to you? I hope it does, because this all connects in that same thing. Don't just spend the time assessing the situation and waiting to go. The only way to grow is to go. The only way to go is to grow. They're combined. It's not just one-sided. They're a motion together, and that's why sometimes you'll hear me say them backwards. You know what I mean? Because I know that going is growing and growing is going. It's reciprocal. And that's like what I'm saying about keeping a PMA. Because every time you keep a PMA and you go out there and you smile, you actually grow more, because you grow from learning that people connect with you more with your smile. Even if it's crooked, people still connect with you more. I don't know how. I don't know where. I don't know why. But it's just the ingenious of it all, of great energy. Great energy begets great energy, and great energy begets great things. Wow. Should write that down. That could be a new docism. Anyway. Well, speaking of, I was going to just say this, but speaking of a docism, it was a docism next that I was about to go to. Wow. It's just as important that we make moves as it is for us to study them. It's just as important that we make moves as it is for us to study them. All right? So get out there, make moves, folks. Get out there. And that's why I've learned from researching folks like Amazon, companies like Amazon, and listening to things about people like Jeff Bezos. Jeff Bezos, his story was overwhelmingly compelling to me. And the reason why his story was compelling to me, because he carried around a book in his back pocket for weeks. And it probably looked something like this when he was done with it. Y'all probably don't even know what this book is. Hold up. Same book. These two books are the same book. But I carry around so much in my back pocket. Why do I carry around so much in my back pocket? Because, damn, if I can get it open right now. I sat on it so hard today, I can't even get to the page. Because this book has, and I haven't looked at it in a while, but the fact that you have it, there it is. The fact that you have it in there, this book right here has, there we go. Here are a few ways to $1. Millionaire math is what we call it. This book has millionaire math in it. And so, millionaire math reminds me to make my own. I make my own millionaire math. That's probably why I haven't looked at it as much, but I carry it around because it reminds me of the ideas that are in the book. When I see the book, when I feel the book in my back pocket, when I remember the book is there, I remember who's got my money. You can't see that green sticker back there. Who's got my money? That's what that says. Who's got my money? I remember that idealism. And it's because I remember that idealism, it's because I think about that idealism that I've imprinted that idea. Like I said in the last lesson, you imprint ideas onto yourself when you take action, because you take action to do things in your life that make you take other actions, that make you take more action, that make you take more action, so you grow to grow to grow to go. You see, as simple as that. And that positive energy continues to rotate through, because you're doing nothing as you're growing and going. You start to feel that positive energy. That wow, it's like the other day. I couldn't believe this happened to me, and I was like, man, I can't believe I just said that. I got down, I did some push-ups, man. I was like, I was done with the push-ups. I was like, wow, that felt good. And I hate working out. I'm gonna be honest with you, I hate working out. But the idea of how my chest was like flexing felt good right then. And it's that energy right there that I did something positive in my life, and knowing that, my chest isn't getting to that old man theory. It's actually still forming. Even though my shoulders hurt and out of place, or it feels like it's out of place and the joints are all messed up, but I'm still going out there and I'm working out something, and the workout is doing something good for my body, and I'm feeling good about what I'm doing for my body. You see what I'm saying? That feel good came out in something I don't like. I've never liked that feeling. I've never liked that feeling after working out. You know what I mean? I've always naturally had the body, the look that I've had, but I never really liked that feeling of what it feels like afterwards, the swollen feeling afterwards, until just recently. That felt good. I might have to work out a lot more and go out to the gym when, get my own gym set up, whatever. I do work out, basic workout, but I might have to actually check out the gym in my older age. You know what I mean? I actually had a gym membership, and I gave it up. I might have to call them people again. You know what I'm saying? I just don't like the fact that they close too early. But now I have a different lifestyle, so it's not too early. Actually, to be honest, I don't have to work all the way till late and then try to make it over there. So things change. I can work still till late, but I can work a different late. I can work early in the morning when this company I was working for before wasn't even open. So, you know what I mean? So, hey, it's a different lifestyle. But in the Jeff Bezos story, what I learned, and that he carried a book around, and I'm going to tell you what book he carried around. This book right here. This book by Sam Walton. It's called Made in America. Sam Walton, Made in America, right? And for those of you who don't know, some of y'all don't know who Sam Walton is. And as it says on his hat, Walmart. He's the guy who invented Walmart. And he's the guy who started in a place when they had 5 and dime stores. We talk about the 99-cent store. They were the first nickel and dime stores in his day. And he started in a place where he had competition. And he had to deal with other people who wanted to push him off the block, who wanted him to, you talk about Woolworths and you talk about these major companies. who were already set there. And he actually, I think didn't he run a World War? I haven't read it in a while, the full book in a while. And so that's why usually these are little scuffed up. But the most important part to me is this part that I learned from the idea of his wife as well. You know, I mean, he had a wife who came from an affluent family, okay? Her dad was a wealthy or a known attorney. You know what I mean? And in that, she knew what she wanted in life, and she knew that she wanted to meet a successful man. And Sam Walton, he was from a military ROTC background, you know, type of guy. And she found him, and they got married, and she would tell him, kind of give him like ideas on what she wanted out of their lifestyle. Matter of fact, she told him that she only wanted to live in a town like under 10,000 people. If I remember, is that 10,000 people? See if I can find this part of the story. 10,000 people. I think she said something about she wanted to, you can't live in a town more than 10,000 people, so that limit where they were going to live and move. You know what I'm saying? And he had to find a business and build his business in this place because she felt that, you know, they had been moving around with his military lifestyle. You know what I mean? He, like, ROTC graduate, he flunked the physical for combat duty with classified duty. You know what I'm saying? And she's like, she was out finding other dudes, and she always told her mother she was going to marry somebody who had been a special energy and a special drive and stuff. And then she wanted to make sure that he knew exactly what he wanted to do. You know what I'm saying? He didn't have a big military career like his brother, but he tried to do something with his life. And he wasn't able to do it. And he ran into Helen. 2 years, he spent 2 years living the Army life. And when he got out in 1945, he only knew what he wanted to get into was retailing. He wanted to get into retail business. He knew exactly what he wanted. And I know some of y'all out there sitting back, you know exactly what you want to do. It's been calling out to you. It's been calling out to you on a day-to-day basis, and you having a hard time trying to ease up the courage to get out there and do it. You know, you might have somebody yapping in your ear saying, you would fail at it. Somebody hating on you. You know, haters only hate when you're doing something right. And if you believe that you're doing the right thing, sit back and try to figure it out. As long as you ain't murdering, harming, or doing anything to anybody, starving somebody, you're more than likely doing the right thing. As long as you're trying to care for the people that are around you and trying to support the people who are around you and grow to go so that you can go and grow, you know what I mean? Then you're doing the right thing. So, you know, he also said that, you know what I mean? So she said, okay, wait. Yeah, she said that after moving around so long, she's like, I don't want to move around. We can only live in a town with 10,000 people. I want to relax a little bit. And so it started limiting him, but it also set the stage for his ideas. He had to start up with this small town idea. How do I get stuff to small town people? And small town people usually don't make a lot of money like these big city folks. Big city folks in LA, our cost of living is much higher than it would be in somewhere like Tyler, Texas. You know what I'm saying? And I say that because my mom lived in Tyler, Texas before she moved to LA. You know, her mother moved to LA after growing up in Tyler, Texas, whereas backwoods, and her parents were treated like she was slave children. And in fact, you know, my great-grandfather was, you know, taking care of his family and not his slaves. You know what I'm saying? And so it's a whole instance of the Lawson background that is totally different when you talk about there. But when you talk about there, you talk about a small town where people made less, where people make less. I mean, it's a bigger town now, but nowhere near the size of Los Angeles. And when you talk about that idea of Los Angeles money, Los Angeles firms versus companies or retailers, Los Angeles retailers versus Tyler, Texas retailers, there's a lot less sales going on as well. So how do you move stuff to a place and give it to people five and dime style and make it worth people going out to get what they want, going out to get what they need? That's difficult, isn't it? So he figured out some way to do it. He figured out a way to do it by research. And I love what Helen says right here. And because of Helen backed him along the way. She constantly backed him. She told her father she didn't want a man, I think I said this before, she didn't want a man that felt like he needed to be the son-in-law of somebody else. He wanted somebody who was going to be Sam Walton. You know what I mean? Who he was, and he could live where he wanted to live as long as it was under 10,000 people. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what I want. You know what I'm saying? She wanted to separate from her father's legacy and build a legacy with Sam. And so she backed Sam. She supported Sam. You know what I'm saying? And that's the best partner. His partner was the best partner he could ever have, whether it be whoever your partner is. Make sure it's a partner who is backing you on your ideas. Make sure it's a partner who is backing you on your thoughts. You know what I'm saying? If your partner's not backing you on your thoughts, then they're hating on you. I'm going to be honest, they're hating on you. You know what I'm saying? Then you got to realize, okay, I have a partner that hates on me. And then you got to assess your progress, assess your situation. I'm not saying divorce your partner. I'm saying work it out, figure it out. Sit down with your partner and talk to them about how they're hating. And if that still doesn't work, figure it out. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what we're here for. We're here to figure things out. You know what I'm saying? But this is what Helen said. I love this, what Helen said. She said, it turned out that there was a lot to learn about running a store. And of course, what really drove Sam was that competition across the street. John Dunham over there at the Sterling store. Sam was always over there checking on John, always looking at his prices, looking at his displays, looking at what's going on. He was always looking for a way to do it better. I don't remember the details, but I remember some kind of panty price war that they got into later on, long after they had left Newport and John had retired. We would see him, and he would laugh about Sam always being in his store, but I'm sure it aggravated him quite a bit. Early on, John had never had good competition before Sam. And I mean, that's another thing, it drove competition. You know what I'm saying? He drove competition to his next store by researching what his competition was doing. See, Sam Walton, this is probably, I mean, this is in the first, 26 pages. It opens with some good detail, and this is something that was written in an article of Helen Walton saying. So this is something that, where does it say? It's written in, no, it just says Helen Walton. It just says her. She's talking about it. So he's taking notes from people who are seeing what's going on, and he's putting it in, and Jeff Bezos is reading this, and he's going, what? Sam Walton just looked at his competition? Okay, look, I ain't got no competition. If I take this online, eBay's my competition. My competition is doing exactly what I want to do, except I could just be putting up prices. All the websites, the stores are just putting up prices. Wait a minute. What if I can figure out a way to ship it better, because they're not really getting with shipping? What if I can get it to people the way they want it, when they want it, faster, and how they want it? What if I build a shipping and distribution just like Sam Walton? Because that's what Sam Walton did. He built his own shipping and distribution. He followed everything that Sam Walton did to a T, except he converted it to an online thought process. That's why Jeff Bezos can get married, get divorced, and still be the richest man in the world. That's why it's so important to understand how serving your community, serving your public, assessing what you're going through, and continually assessing what you're going through, and taking action first. He took action first. Jeff Bezos didn't stop. Look, even during this pandemic, he took action to shut down. He was one of the first major companies to shut down his company of intake and say, look, what we're going to do is we're going to take those trucks and we're going to distribute to help for this pandemic. He didn't stop. He didn't look around. He didn't ask any questions. He said, we're going to do this. Now, don't get me wrong. There are some things that happen with this company, and I don't want to fight that. But there are some people who are fighting what's happened with certain things. And yes, certain things do happen. You know what I'm saying? Certain things do happen within a corporation on a bigger level, okay? And Bezos is only one man within a corporation. And yes, I don't know what side or whatever. You know, I don't want to get into the controversial stuff right now. I just want to get into the basic facts that we know. that we know that he's walked around with that book in his back pocket. And we know that he's went out there and supported this idea of getting stuff to communities faster, quicker, through shipping. He supported this idea of allowing people to sell their own product any way they want to through him. He's allowed this idea of people being able to ship stuff to them at a certain amount and have him process and sell through his own company. He has created the idea for the everything store off of the same idea as Walmart, just digital. You know what I mean? And he has developed to become the richest man in the world. That's why I say tell people in that video earlier, I don't care about studying anybody else really except for, I mean, don't get me wrong, Warren Buffett. I've studied him for years. You know what I'm saying? Whoa. I still gotta get his partner's book. Ooh. I want that book. Whoa, it's a $50 book. I still gotta buy it. I'm hesitant in buying it. Ooh, I'm hesitant in buying it. But anyway, for now, this book right here, and I need to give y'all the link to this book. Sam Walton, Made in America, is the book I'm talking about today. You know what I mean? Wow. It got me thinking. And so I need to put it in the chat. Like I tell everybody, it's going to be in the chat, and it's also going to be in the description. Let's do it the right way, because last time I did that and it didn't work out right, X. Let's do it this way. Sam Walton, Made in America. And let's do the link right here. There we go. Sam Walton, Made in America. You guys can get it. It went through Mixer. It didn't go on Discord. I wonder why it keeps popping up all these Discord little pop-ups. I got to figure that out. Restream IO with Discord. But you can get it in Mixer. And you can pick it up whenever you're ready. Mixer, excuse me. I said, you can get it from Amazon, the book. Wow. I went off on a tangent there. You can get it from Amazon. I was looking at Mixer. Mixer popped up in front of my face. And it's for $15.98 is what I was looking for. $15.98 in the paperback, hardcover for $4.50, which I thought was kind of weird. I really thought because it's used. But the new ones are $40.96. So I'd rather go for a new copy of the paperback. The paperback is much more sold. Like I said, it's a good book. It's a really good book. It's a good read. It's a good understanding of how retail was in our industry. I mean, Sam Walton is from the old times. It is a different time with Sam Walton when it came up. And now we're in a whole nother era. And now we're in the Bezos era. Bezos is Walton. Walmart. Walmart continues to grow as it goes. Yeah. So, with that being said, I lost where I was at. But, like I said, he read it from cover to cover and carried it around, and it probably looked like that book that I had in my back pocket until he figured out how to make his own Walmart, the everything store. I mean, Amazon is not yet the everything store, but I think eventually, in the end, it's going to be the everything store, especially with things like this pandemic. But speaking of people going out there reaching out, I want to represent LA a little bit, the LA Hotbox. I got a video today in my Facebook, and you know who you are. You sit over that video. I'm going to have to mention your name. This music video is from Courtnee Smith, all right? And Courtnee Smith, I just want to fully represent the LA Hotbox. She is fully representing the LA Hotbox from Inglewood, California. You know what I'm saying? She even shows it in this video. And this brings me back. This takes it back. You know what I'm saying? I got to get this link up first, though, too. But Courtnee made a video just to kind of, okay, look. I've known Courtnee first off, is somebody I've known since 32nd Street USC Magnet School, and I know she's talented, and I just want to get that off my chest first. And I'm thankful that she shared this idea in this video. All right. And second of all, is Courtnee that she went out there, she just wanted to put out a little bit of entertainment. So I just want to get it out there to folks because I know that some people may take it the wrong way, may take it the right way, but just look at it as entertainment. Her idea was that she wanted to fully represent LA through the Hotbox, and in that, she wanted to relieve a little bit of the pressure I think she really wanted to relieve a little bit of the pressure that we're all going through right now. You know what I'm saying? And it's mainly because we're all in this pandemic. So let's just take a moment, and watch this music video real quick. It's a music video from Courtnee Smith, and it's called I Don't Mess with COVID-19. Wait a minute, hold up. I gotta make sure that I got the right devices up. Do I? Here we go. Oh, no, I don't. No, I don't. Something went off. Oh. This went off. There we go. All right, now I got the right devices up. So I got to refix those triggers again after another update. But here we go with Courtnee Smith. Oh, let's start this over.
What? They don't came up with a new virus. COVID-19. I need some hand sanitizer. I don't flex with you. You little stupid ass virus. I don't want you. You little punk ass virus. What you gonna do? There's a million things I wish I could do. Other things to do. Then it be rapping about you. Little stupid ass. I don't wanna get sick. 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 You. I'm wearing my mask and gloves. I'm wearing my mask and gloves. I heard a new strand trying to make me sick. 5G is a plan. It's all a trick. Stay 6 feet away. They think they slick. I'm gonna tell you right now. I don't flex with you. I got places to go. I swear I had it up to here. I need my money to grow. I need to pay my bills. I need my Betty's grill. America, wake up. They're trying to make another pill. You got the world on lockdown. Lockdown. Walk a flock and interview like a clown. Body bags. Face down. Cali like a ghost town. Whoever listen to the news, they'll tell you lies so you can lose. You got me buying canned food. Not canned food. People shopping being rude. Families in the feud. Fighting. Trying to be in suit. I'm wearing my mask and gloves. I'm wearing my mask and gloves. I don't flex with you. You little stupid ass virus. I don't want you. Don't want you. The little punk ass virus. What you gonna do? What you gonna do? What you gonna do? There's a million things I wish. Shout out to all the essential workers. Tell Trump I want my stimulus check, no cap. Want my money. I don't wanna get sick. I don't wanna get sick. Nope. Not bye. I'm wearing my mask and gloves. I'm wearing my mask and gloves. Where they on sale at? Somebody let me know. We out. How much you got on?
I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you, for real now. For real now. This trip. See, just spread a little fun, just spread a little joy. I don't know why I'm lagging out, but that must mean it's time for me to go. So stay tuned for more in the Hot Box as we get ready to come back soon. But that was pretty much it. I wanted to head out with that. Stay out there, folks. Be safe. Be smart. Do the right thing, folks. This is Doc reminding you to assess your progress and take action. See you next time. Actually, I may see you tomorrow. I don't know. This lesson was pretty good today. So, may see you tomorrow or not. Who knows? We'll see how it goes. I may still do it on slides anyway. So, we'll see you soon. Peace. I'm out of here. Real TV.